Welcome on in, guys. Tobin here with you. Thanks for checking out the channel. Hope everybody's doing fantastic out there in Heat Nation. Last day here in Sin City, going over to watch the Canelo fight later. I was just over at the Gervonta Davis, Frank Martin press conference. Pretty heated. It was chaos. I don't know if I'm built for this this boxing reporter life, though, because holy hell, is that a lot of cameras and cell phones all just trying to get around Gervonta Davis. I did get some time with David Benavidez, though, so but I was like getting boxed out like over by because like honestly, like I thought I've done like finals and things like that, but the boxing it's a cluster bleep, man. I remember doing Floyd Mayweather, and I apologize for referring this into boxing, but the Logan Paul Floyd Mayweather debacle. And when they were at the Versace match, it was more media there than like anything I had ever seen before. That is like Super Bowls, NBA Finals. NBA Finals, you know, if you get a bunch of people in the Heat locker room, it could be chaotic, but can also not be chaotic because it depends if you lose. You know, it could kind of be sad, and there's not going to be many people there, and most people are going to go to the podium room. Anyway, speaking of NBA Finals, a man who has taken the Miami Heat to 2 NBA Finals, Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler is the Jimmy Butler news is getting hot and heavy all over the place with rumors and whispers and thoughts and opinions about Jimmy Butler's future and his extension. And Jimmy Butler was at the F1. He was at F1, and he had yelled to the crowd that it was, I love it, the city of Miami, a city I adore, a city I love. He had been talking to the F1 reporter. So Jimmy Butler was at F1, and he had told the reporter there, the in-house reporter, that Miami is a city I love and a city I adore. And, you know, he's telling all the people, oh, what do you love about sports? And I don't think this is going to be a thing where Jimmy Butler him or his people are going to make it seem publicly like they want to leave Miami. I think Jimmy Butler's been pretty honest and open about the idea that he doesn't want to go anywhere else. This is the last jersey that he wants to wear. He's opening up stores down here, you know, and I don't think he wants to like uproot his family, go somewhere else. I think the guy does like being in Miami. That's a great city, but I think he can also kind of do his own thing, and definitely is an organization that has let Jimmy be Jimmy and do his thing. And I don't think this is a guy who wants to uproot everything. You know, I think there is an element of everybody worried about, is there going to be some type of Molotov cocktail thrown if Jimmy doesn't get the extension this offseason, which, mind you, there's not a deadline this offseason to get the extension. There is, they could roll this through in the middle of the season. They could be somewhere where they wait on it and then they give Jimmy the extension. So this is not something that has like a pressing need in the middle of the season. It's going to be very interesting to see what Pat Riley says. Dude is speaking soon. The Godfather getting his opinion on these types of things will be interesting to see. But it does feel like people are trying to drum some stuff up. I think there was a Woj report that had said that there is a this was from a Barry Jackson tweet. He said, it's going to be a different type of summer in the NBA. I think there is going to be a lot of guys entering the NBA portal. I think there is going to be a lot of player movement this summer. And Barry adds, the Heat must hope, pray that their asset package is good enough to outbid everybody for Donovan Mitchell or whomever. The one thing I'd say with that is, Donovan Mitchell, the difference with him, but as opposed to other places, look, Donovan Mitchell's going to want to sign where he's going to want to sign. Doesn't have as long a contract left. The one thing that was a wrinkle with the Damian Lillard thing is Damian Lillard was just going into the start of an extension. He had a lot of years left on that deal. So, I don't think that's quite the worry. If he does want to be in Miami, I do think that's going to give Miami a little bit of a leg up, especially because nobody wants to lose. Nobody wants a Dallas situation where you're losing a talented player for nothing. Knowing that they gave up a good amount for him, I get it, but they kind of had their run. We'll see where they go in this playoff series and all that. But yeah, it does feel like there's going to be a lot of musical chairs coming up. Will Jimmy be involved? I mean, I don't know. I don't know, but I do think that the one thing that happens with these rumors all over the place is it does feel like it starts at one place. So like you had Anthony's report, which I think was accurate and to the point that Jimmy and his people want a max extension. They want that extra year guaranteed. Could it cause some harsh feelings? Yeah, it could. I mean, who's to say that it won't? And do the Heat have a rightful place to be worried about it? Yeah. I mean, I think you think about the physical style that he plays at. Does he have great arguments about why he deserves it and all the accolades and how good he's been when he's been here? Yeah. Is the Miami Heat's track record to care about that stuff? Do they pay for the past? No, they typically don't. They typically will, Pat Riley has shown a propensity that if he thinks the guy is going to be a little bit cooked, then he is going to buck a little bit about, paying an extra $60 million just for feelings. Is that going to ruin everything? I don't know. I mean, I think that, that's the tough thing. No one's going to come out, I think, harshly and say anything. Like, I don't expect Pat Riley when he speaks soon is going to be like, oh yeah, Jimmy washed, can't pay him. What's he want an extension for? Like, he's not going to hose down Jimmy Butler. And if Jimmy Butler were to do media, which he doesn't do a ton of, I don't expect Jimmy Butler to hose down the Heat either, because I do think that there is a level of him that just wants to stay down here, wants his legacy to end here, and hopefully set it up for a championship. I think that's the other thing is I think the best thing for everybody involved is, can the Miami Heat somehow retool a roster around Jimmy and Bam to still win an NBA championship? Is that possible? So Jimmy Butler had done an interview with Rock the Bells, and so he had here's the clip. This was Jimmy talking about if he was playing. He said that he said Boston would be home right now.
Yo, video this. You got it? Yep. 1, 2, 3, action. If I was playing, Boston would be at home. New York, damn sure would be fucking at home. Josh Hart. What the fuck that mean to me? Josh Hart.
Yo, stop fucking with me.
Come on, man. Nah, I love Tibbs, but I don't want to. I love Tibbs. I love you, baby. I want to beat you to a pulp. You want me, I don't want you. It's like a one-sided relationship. You in love with me, and I love you, but I'm not in love with you. You know what I'm saying? Love my brother.
Hey, the facts are the facts. The Boston got to take on a depleted Heat team. We'll never know if Jimmy Butler was able to muster up what he's always been able to muster up. And I think that's the big concern is this going to be a trend of injuries? Because injuries have been a part of Jimmy's story. It's just typically a first half of the season story, not a post All-Star break problem. So the question is, all right, are these going to be things that keep coming up, or was this just a fluky time? He missed about 20 games, but obviously had that that unfortunate thing that happened in the playing game. Miami, I think, you heard Spo wants to stop playing those games as far as that's concerned. So look, he'll in his mind always have the big what if, but I do think that Miami wants a mentality shift of, hey, you can't be a flip the switch player. You do have to attack this with, we're going at it all the time. There can't be a part of the season where, let's just say the Heat make no moves. There can't be a part of the season, which I do think they will, but there can't be, oh, this is Bam's part of the season. This is Bam and Tyler's part of the season. Okay, now it's Jimmy's time. No, they have to be a cohesive unit that has a through line throughout the regular season. And I think that Jimmy Butler does want to finish things off here. I don't think that he wants to go anywhere. But yeah, money can mess up feelings, especially if somebody gets money, like Bam gets his money, Jimmy doesn't. Will that cause even more of a stink? I can't rule that out. That's one of those things where, like, to just assume that he's going to be just fine with it, I don't know. Is he going to be the same guy that he was at 29? That also could be. I mean, I think that's also foolhardy. Like, I think that's one of those things where we shouldn't just assume Jimmy Butler is going to default to Minnesota Jimmy Butler, or he's going to be Sixers Jimmy Butler just because of that. Like, again, it really is a lot of speculation that I think has a lot of arguments that are fine on a lot of sides. But it's one of those things where, like, there's going to be a lot of noise around it. I would like to hear what the Heat's side of it is and what Pat's going to say about it, because I think that will give us a window into what the Heat is thinking on this. Because as of right now, I don't listen to any of the Lows, the Hollingers, the Aldridges, the Windhorsts, all these people that are out there like, oh yeah, could be something. Like, all right, I'm not going to be sensitive about it, just like I wasn't earlier in the year when Kendrick Perkins was saying about it. Like, this is what happens when your team struggles and your team doesn't meet expectations. We're the buzzards. Like, we've buzzard around a bunch of situations where, oh, they didn't quite get, like, we're going to do it all this year with Spider Mitchell. We're going to do it with Kevin Durant. We're going to do it with LeBron James. So the Heat fan can't get sensitive about other franchises circling around Jimmy Butler and being like, Jimmy Butler, disgruntled past. Like, if I were to see this situation objectively, because I know me, if I were to see this situation with another fan base and it was going on, I'd be like, could be something. Something could be a brewing there. And that's why I don't dismiss the noise, but I also am not going to overreact to it. I'm not going to get crazy about all this stuff. And especially without, hearing what the Godfather has to say about it. That's going to be the interesting one.